Hey, this is Bryn from wanderlusthacker.com talking to you today about the European Explorer Contiki tour. Now this tour is 33 days. It starts off in London, goes all the way through Europe, through France, Spain, Italy, Greece, back up the South European coast, and finishes in the Netherlands in Amsterdam. Now I have to apologize to begin with. This video is actually taken from a video I took and put together just after my tour. I hadn't had a blog at that stage, and all the original material was lost in a computer virus, so I've had to cut this from a movie that thankfully was uploaded, and I've re-downloaded and cut it up. So anyway, let's get into it. So the tour starts in London at Royal National Hotel, the Contiki headquarters. Take a short bus ride down to Dover Cliffs to Calais, and then on to Paris. Now Paris is a very tourist city. It is a very beautiful city, a very old city. It has many sights to see, such as the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, and the Louvre. Now, the good thing about Contiki is Contiki gets group bookings, so a lot of the times you skip the lines, and those lines are long. Some of those lines are up to an hour and a half wait, so you don't want to be stuck in the heat or the cold, waiting to get into those museums and monuments. As you can see, we have a good time in Paris there, getting drunk on the front lawn of the Eiffel Tower with cheap wine. You have people that will sell you wine on the lawn there, so that's always a bit of fun. The next city is Lyon. Now we only spent one night in Lyon, so unfortunately we didn't have a lot of time there, but there was a lot of sightseeing, a lot of old buildings and cool stuff to see in there. Not really much of a party town from what I remember. We were there during the week, so if you're there to party, it's not really there much to do there, but we did happen to find a snowboarders bar, and we went up and down the cocktail menu list and had a good old time there. Unfortunately, I can't recommend that bar now because it's closed. So something I should mention about Contiki is at the start of every day, a particular song is chosen by the tour manager to wake everyone up who's hungover. So if you've been drinking like this night, which we found out the hard way, the next morning after this night, the Contiki manager started playing this song really, really loud, just to wake us up so they can give us, tour briefs about the day, what you're going to be doing. And this is what's called the morning song. Now, this is a tradition that's followed in all of the Contiki tours, and you grow to sort of hate that song at the end. The next city we move on to is Barcelona in Spain. Barcelona is, well, when I was there, extremely hot. A very beautiful city, but also very, very different to France, which is weird because obviously they're just borderlining on each other. But yeah, completely different cultures. Your tour manager will take you out to a flamenco dancing, which is sort of like a traditional Spanish dance, and it's all improvised, which is really cool. You have the musicians there, they'll play, and then you have everyone clap, and they'll improvise the dance as they go along. You also have the chance to go see Barcelona Stadium, the harbour. This is a LED water show which has like classical music playing, and it plays in time to the music, which is quite amazing to see. They take you to go see this just after the flamenco dancing. Plus you have all of the sites of Barcelona, the new church that they're building there, I can't remember the name of it. Town Square was just there, plus many other sites. And then you get to go out after the flamenco dancing, after all of that's done, you get to go out and night out. Bars, that's an opium nightclub. I featured that in top 10 nightclubs you should visit in Europe. It was very cool, very messy, and a very awesome night out there. The next city after Barcelona, after 2 days in Barcelona, you head off to Nice, the south of France. Now, if you know anything about the south of France, it's where sort of your 1% go to holiday. And from there, it's a short bus ride to Monte Carlo, where we don't actually stay in Monte Carlo, it's just a night in Monte Carlo. You get to go to the casinos, be like the 1%, see the Lamborghinis, see the famous yachts. And you can actually win quite a bit of money. One of our guys in our Contiki tour won £1,000. So that was, to try your luck if you go there. And then we're on to Venice. Now, Venice, as you well know, is the floating city of Europe. Now, Venice, like Barcelona, is extremely dry heat. There's pigeons everywhere. But one of the things you will do is go to a glass museum. There, someone in our tour actually broke one of the glasses. It's like $10,000 worth of glass, so That's pretty cool to see, and also go on the gondola rides, as everyone does. Now it's on to Florence. Now Florence, I don't actually remember much of Florence. The one thing I do remember is taking the Contiki photo. This is where you get a photo with everyone. And then obviously more drinking and another night out at a disco, which you pay. It's like they have karaoke and stuff like that. Next is Rome, to obviously the capital of Italy, and all of your major sites like the Colosseum. You get to go visit the Vatican, and basically just walk around Rome. It's sort of a bit captivating because there's so much to see, but so little time to go do it. This is one of those cities you're going to have to come back to go see. I didn't particularly like Rome, only because I found it quite dirty. There was a lot of beggars, and the risk of pickpockets is actually quite high. We saw someone got pickpocketed, and yeah, it wasn't nice. But you know, Rome is still a beautiful city. Go see it. I wasn't a fan, but you know, you might be. A lot of history, ancient history there, and a lot of buildings and ruins to see if you're into your ancient history. Next, we move on to the city of Capri. Sorry, not the city, the island of Capri. And this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It made me appreciate Australian beaches a lot more, because the beaches are like pebbles and you cut your feet on that shit and it's not very nice. But it's hot, it's nice, it's beautiful. And then it's on to Pompeii. Now Pompeii, if you know, is the city that was destroyed by a volcano. You go see the ancient brothels there and all the people, all the remains of people. And then you try some limoncello at the end of, as my fellow Contiki patriot there failed to sort of like. Now it's Athens in Greece. We actually don't spend much time in Athens. It's like one day in Athens. I found it really depressing because no one has jobs in Greece. There's a lot of boarded up shops. Not so much in Athens, but you know, outside of Athens. But thankfully it's only a night there, because then we're on to the Greek islands. And yeah, Greek islands, if you know anything about them, they are beautiful. That's Santorini there. That's the volcano. You know, you swim in sort of warm springs. It's kind of like swimming in warm pee, really, but it's orange water as well that comes off on you. That's I don't know, it's an experience. And then you get to ride the donkeys and do all that, and it's really beautiful. There's two options. There's the river, the cruise, or there's the stay on Mykonos for 4 days. Mykonos is the party option. Cruises see a lot of other shit. It's a hard choice because you want to see all the islands, but you also want to party, so you know, it's a bit of a toss-up. The cruise is cool because you spend 80 euros for 3 days, unlimited drinks, whereas if you go on the Mykonos tour, it is, you know, you have to pay per drink and it's a lot more expensive. But, you know, each to their own. It depends on what you want to do. Then the tour takes you back to Athens and you see the last remaining sites like the Pantheon, and which is there, but it's full of tourists that you can't really get a shot of it very well. You can't like get too many selfies without some random, you know, Asian tourist with a Mickey Mouse t-shirt walking behind you. But yeah, Greek islands is amazing. It's beautiful, expensive, but it's well worth it. And then you end up at Greece, and then it's for one night, and then it's off to Albania. Now Albania, probably isn't on most people's lists, is the poorest country in Europe. I actually kind of like it just because it's flagged. It's a very beautiful city though. It's got that communist era look where a lot of buildings are the same, the architecture is the same, and but luckily the FIFA World Cup was on while we were in Albania, and they set up this massive stall thing where it's like LED screen and then 100 meters of tables and drinks and stalls and stuff, then another LED screen, and it's just all playing FIFA, and it was Germany versus Portugal or something like that, and everyone, the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. So you must, you know, if you ever travel in Europe, make sure you go while FIFA's on. Now it's onto the famous city of Dubrovnik in Croatia. Now this city here was where they filmed Game of Thrones. If you love Game of Thrones, this is for you. You can understand why they sell out. All tour companies sell out on their sort of Croatia sales tours, and this is why. It's because crystal blue water, beautiful seafood, beautiful towns and little islands that you can go to. Contiki takes you on like a day cruise, which is what you saw there, and it's a must do. You have to do it. We go from Dubrovnik onto Sadar very quickly via Split. Sadar is really beautiful at night and the sunset there, but again, you don't spend enough time there. Next is Vienna. in Austria. Now, I'm actually a really big fan of Vienna. Vienna is beautiful. They have this amazing theme park there called Prater. And this ride here is called Ecstasy. It is the best and worst ride I've ever been on. Apparently it goes at like 100 k's an hour or some shit like that, but you have to go do that ride. That ride is insane. And basically it's just a big theme park. It's open 24/7. The rides aren't open 24/7, but the theme park's open 24/7. There's heaps to do there. They have a nightclub there called Prater Dome. That's also on my top 10 nightclub list. Check it out. It is amazing. You also see the Jewish Memorial, and there's a lot of things to see in Vienna, surprisingly, in terms of things to do, and you honestly just don't have enough time. Contiki does take you on a schnapps tour, and it also takes you on a night out of classical Mozart and dinner. Now, it is expensive, but it's one of those one-in-a-lifetime experiences, and it's actually really nice. Next is Munich in Germany. Now, every time I go to Germany, I get smashed. Absolutely destroyed, because the beer there is amazing. I learned how to like beer in Munich. The actual city of Munich, though, is absolutely beautiful, though. You have to check it out. Now, Luceme, Switzerland. Now, if you know anything about the Swiss, it's about the cheese, it's about the chocolate, and it's about the Alps. And we got to experience all three. There are Swiss Alps there, above Lucerne. You can see for miles and miles and miles. Absolutely stunning views. And thankfully, when in the summer, otherwise we'd be freezing our ass off. Luckily, when we were in Lucerne, the Lucerne Festival is on. It's like the Australia Day of Lucerne. And they had a 2-story nightclub that was in a museum. Massive festival with all these stages, as you can see there. It's obviously only one day a year, but you just happen to be there at the right time. And that's the thing about Europe and Contiki. Like, you run into all these random festivals and events you didn't even know existed, and you have just the most amazing time. You also get to do some fondue tasting. It's a bit expensive, and the show, but a bit expensive, but it is well worth it. It's a lot of fun. They pull up people to do yodeling. There it is there, and blow on the, use their traditional Swiss instruments, and it is a lot of fun. Let's just say it's very interactive. And obviously you get to buy as much chocolate and cheese there as you can possibly eat without getting fat. Next is the Rhine Valley in Germany. We head back to Germany. The Rhine Valley is basically where they make a lot of wine, a lot of frozen wine as well. And we do some wine tasting in the Rhine Valley. The theming of this thing was really cool. It's like Halloween and wine put together. I don't know how they do it, but you do some wine tasting in there, and it's very beautiful. Buy some beautiful wine you can take back home, and also buy some beer steins. Last stop on the Contiki tour is Amsterdam in Holland. It is obviously known for its cheese, its prostitution, and its free weed. Now, we get to experience all three. Now, I didn't personally try the weed. I'm not into that. But the cheese, I actually didn't really like cheese before I went to Amsterdam. And cheese there is absolutely freaking amazing. You do your stereotypical tourist stuff. You do the I Am Amsterdam sign. Go to the Heineken Museum, get some free Heineken. It is a lot of fun. And it also teaches you about beer making and brew making. Amsterdam actually has more canals also than Venice. So Contiki offers you the option to go on a canal ride, and you get to see all the canals throughout Amsterdam, and it's actually very, very recommended. I'd definitely do that. And with this night comes to the end of the 33-day European Explorer Contiki tour. Now, with this last night, you've been with these people for 33 days, and now it's time to party, have a good time, and have a good night out. Except for me, where I blacked out for 12 hours, and I have no idea what happened. Apparently I got drugged. So if you want to hear more about that, you need to head over to the Amsterdam City blog on wanderlusthacker.com to find out what happened there. Anyway, in review and conclusion of this video, is the European Explorer Tour worth your money? It's around 7,000-8,000 Australian dollars, depending on when you book. I believe it is. The positives of this tour are that you get to see a lot of countries very quickly. You get to see a lot of diverse cultures, from Spain to Albania to Netherlands, and you can't put a price tag really on that experience. If you're a solo traveler or it's your first time traveling, it's a great primer. You get to see obviously all these diverse cultures, and you become very confident in both yourself and traveling with new people. The negatives of this tour, if you find you're in a group and you don't like a few people, you do have to stay with them for 33 days and you can't get rid of them. Luckily, our group was a pretty close group because we only had about 33, 34 people, so we became quite close. We didn't really have any problems. Moving on though, in conclusion, I find that if you are going to be booking this tour, be prepared for the long haul, pace yourself, and try not to burn yourself out. This is Bryn from wanderlusthacker.com signing off.
Alex. Motherfuckers!
Yeah!
European Explorer 2014.
Yeah!
Peace out.